Hi, this is CT Mitchell. Today I'm putting up a really quick video about what I learned when I listened to a podcast that actually featured Rachel Abbott. For those of you who don't know, Rachel Abbott is the largest selling author on Amazon UK, and that's been confirmed that for her sales over the last 5 years, she is the number one seller on Amazon UK. And that's, when you think about it, she's only been being published since 2011. That's a tremendous result to have. And so I was particularly interested. I listened to the podcast, which was run by the guys from the Self-Publishing Formula podcast, Mark Dawson and James Blatch. And it was really, really interesting to listen to what she had to say. And this is some of the takeouts that I actually got from that interview. The first thing is Rachel, because she came from a business background, she used to have an interactive media company that she sold. And that company would supply software to particularly the educational market. And in that, I suppose she built up that kind of business sense. So when she came into writing, she was a voracious reader prior to, and she decided that she was to give away the business, to sell the business off. Then what would she do? And when the chairman of the company asked her, her first reaction was, "I'll go write a book." And I suppose, as I said, she recognized that writing, or being an author, is basically about two main things. One is A, writing the book, and B, is marketing the book. So she took very much a business approach, and I think that's an important thing to understand. As being an author, it's not all about just writing the book and hoping that somebody's going to come and buy that book. You actually have to get out there and market it. So I like that sort of approach, obviously directly up from her. She sat down, had a bit of a plan as to what she was going to do, and in the writing side of it, she worked out a sort of a deadline within her own mindset. And as she says on that interview, those deadlines in her mind change, and the writing commitment changes. And currently, she's writing a new book, and the level of activity is around about 2,000 words a day. But if she falls off that wagon due to marketing or something like that, then she may have to up that ante to go maybe 3,000, sometimes even more. And so what I took from that is that, again, I have to, as an author, be very diligent about how I write. I'm currently, doing maybe 1,000 words or something a day, but I probably need to be a little bit more harder on myself. I need to sort of build up that ethic to commit to writing more and getting the job actually done. So, I was very, I suppose, impressed by that. I know she does it full time. I'm certainly very, very part time. But getting the actual books written is a crucial thing. The other thing that she talked about was building, from a marketing perspective, awareness of her name and her brand out there. And in the olden days, she would jump on a lot of reader forums and ask questions and leave comments and that kind of thing, which, maybe today don't necessarily work. But she had a plan. She thought about, where was my readers, who were going to be interested in my books, and she tried to go find places as to where there was and get her name out there. And again, that's something I'm not directly doing. I'm relying a bit on social media. And again, that's a very ad hoc, casual affair, whereas somebody like Rachel Abbott is extremely dedicated, and they're programmed, they're planned out as to what they're actually going to be doing. So again, that's a takeaway for me. I need to have a definitive plan, and I need to be defining my market as to who my readers are, and going to that particular market and communicating and building relationships and engaging with people, I suppose. I think the other thing that I found with her is that she obviously has an extremely strong work ethic. She would say that around launch time, she'd lock herself away for maybe 3 months, working something like 13 hours a day for 7 days straight, over the next 3 or 4 months. And again, here's a person very, very successful doing that, and here I am, a part-time author, adopting basically a bit of a part-time attitude as well. And if I want to make that transition away from that, become more successful and get into that full-time mode, I'm going to have to obviously adopt a stronger work ethic with what she's got. Having a reading list is also crucial, and working on that, and I have been doing that since day dot, and it's growing all the time. And I do love my readers. I have a fantastic engagement with them, so I enjoy talking. I love getting the emails back in and replying to them and asking questions, etc. So that's something that Rachel's doing. But I found her interview extremely invigorating. As I said, I think the takeaways for me is that I'm not doing enough on a consistent basis. I have to seriously sit down there and map things out, plan them better, and put in a stronger commitment, albeit on a part-time basis. But I do want to change from being in a working corporate role and becoming that full-time writer. And so the hours of 7 p.m. to midnight or something is going to have to become my mantra of working in those hours. So I hope you got something out of that. I said I really did enjoy it. If you want to listen to her actually tell you this particular story, I said go to the SPF podcast, James Blatch and Mark Dawson. You can find that on iTunes. It's a fantastic podcast. I listen to them all the time. The guys are fantastic. And I really encourage you to take a listen to what Rachel Abbott has said. She is the number 1 selling author on Amazon UK, and she's there for a reason. She's got there not by accident. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for listening in. I hope you got something out. If you're an author, let's sit down and work at the plan that Rachel's put up there, and want to see you on the stages of success as well. So, have a great day. Bye for now.